31st. It's January 31st, 2016, and we want to know, is Deathstroke the only thing standing in the way of a Bizarro-filled Muscle Beach?
When Katana posts her squad goals on social media, is it just a picture of her sword?
All that and more is coming up now. It's another episode of DCR.
This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the DCR. I, of course, remain your host, the plague-ridden Sean Lamont, comic book reader extraordinaire. We're actually delaying this a little bit so I could heal up a little bit more, and it didn't quite work out as planned, but we're here anyway. Joining me, as always, the other plague-born himself, Mr. Brian Glein. Hello, sir.
I'm barely plague-born.
Yeah, you're like an acolyte of the plague.
Yeah.
You're still a neophyte, if you will, in the ways of the
plague adjacent.
Plague adjacent. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm trying to get there again. Why don't you tell the folks what we're going to be doing here today?
Spoiling all the books that came out in DC's DCU line.
This week, and last
week.
month, too. We touched on some of the last month stuff to catch up everything. So, as we did last week, we will be spoiling last month's books as far as that particular week, the ones that are concurrent to this one, as well as this week's books. So, if you have not read them, make sure you do read them before you listen to this episode so we do not spoil it for you. Again, fair warning. This isn't a 2-month-old episode again. You will actually have this week's books spoiled. So, without any further ado, we're just gonna crawl forward into this one.
I will push you in a wheelbarrow into this week's book.
Wheelbarrow forward into this week's books. I figured we'd start with A's.
Now that Sean has exited his body weight and mucus from his body, we can start off with this week's book.
Let's do it, yeah. I went in alphabetical order, just kind of, mostly. I gave the split to Brian, and we had wheeling and dealing again this week, where he had to take things and for the price of taking other things. So
you can figure that one on your own. It's an extra little bonus game to play while you're listening to the podcast.
So I'm going to start off this week with Aquaman because it starts with an A, and that's the only reason we're starting with it. So we're actually covering 2 months of the Aquaman here. So last month, where we had left off, the invading armies of Thule, the alternate dimension Atlantis, are just wrecking planet Earth right now, just kind of popping in and overwriting the space where they exist in their dimension with their stuff. And the rest of the Justice League has finally been brought in on this. And they're all kind of giving Aquaman crap like, gee, maybe you could have brought this up. Maybe you could have told us. And Wonder Woman's like, hey, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Don't give him too much crap. I mean, he was just trying to handle it himself. But now that we're all together, I need you guys to do me a favor. Can you guys go in there? The whole reason I wasn't bringing you in because there are innocent people in Thule, in that alternate dimension that I was trying to save and bring out. If you guys go and save them, I'll head over to Atlantis, save my fiance Mara, and take care of this whole thing once and for all. I'll destroy Thule as I'm destined to do. I already read the prophecy. It said, oh, Aquaman, he's the destroyer of worlds, so I'll go destroy a world.
It's what I do.
It's what I do if you guys go save the people. So we get a splash page, one single splash page of the Justice League on this mission where they have just busted into Thule. They're just beating down all these demon monsters, and Batman has tamed a dragon that he is riding around, attacking all of these things. We see nothing more of this whatsoever. It's just a single page of Batman with a tamed dragon just wrecking a bunch of demon monsters, and I am just left in awe that was what they just went, yeah, just give him a dragon. Just let him do that. I mean, we're never going to touch on it again. We're just leaving it at that.
Bruce Wayne?
Yes, this is all before.
It would have been even more impressive if it was Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
This is my Tuesday now, I guess.
I guess I tame dragons. Meanwhile, Aquaman is attacking Atlantis with a bunch of aquatic monsters to depose Siren, the shapeshifter that has taken the role of Mera. She's taken over all of Atlantis and convinced them that Aquaman has turned against them and is trying to work with Thule. And he sends all of these sea monsters to attack, and he's telling them all, don't kill anyone, don't hurt them too bad, all of these people are not our enemies, they are just confused. And then one soldier off in the distance yells out, I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, but he just goes, you suck, Aquaman! And Aquaman looks to the monsters and goes, except for Tim. You can totally eat Tim. I hate that guy. Every single time I show up, he's the one that's always yelling, I hate you, Aquaman.
Oh, man.
But Mera is not exactly a princess in need of saving. This princess is in her castle, and she is going to wreck some crap up. So she breaks free, using Arthur's attack of sea monsters as a distraction, smotes half of the guards that are around there, and then pummels her quote-unquote sister Siren into submission. Finally convincing the Drift, who have been chasing Aquaman this entire time, you know, Merc and Tula and Garth, Aquaboy or Lad or whatever. They've been chasing him down, and Arthur's been trying to convince him, no, there's a shapeshifter on the throne. You don't understand. It's not actually Mera. And finally, the two Meras start fighting above, and Merc's just like, I'll be damned. Oh, he was telling the truth. So they help fighting as well. They help with the fight, and they end up taking down Siren, and everyone goes, oh, yay. The true king is actually back. It was an evil plan. And Mera and Aquaman meet up and just start smooching because he wants to show off some more of his tasteful sword art skills and whatnot.
Yeah.
But no time for love, Dr. Jones, because together the two of them have to go and smote Thule. They have to destroy worlds. It's in the rule book. They have to do it. So they shift over to that dimension, which has its seat of power where Atlantis sits in ours. So pretty much they're right at the middle of the junction point between these two dimensions. And he takes Neptune's spear, the thing that Poseidon gave him, and drives it in, shoving all of its power into it, and basically breaks the link, destroying Thule as he escapes out. And he goes, yay! We have destroyed Thule. Way to go, team. And all of Atlantis is like, yay! Our king and queen are back. Everything's happy. Yay! And then they go and meet with the Justice League, where they say, we have saved as many people as we can. And Batman's in the background, and I tamed a dragon. And Wonder Woman says she'll put in a good word with her brother if he wants to get a new magic trident. It's actually a very cute little scene between it. I mean, it's obviously she's part of the pantheon now. She's a demigod herself. So it's just kind of a throwaway line, but I thought it was a nice little, hey, Wonder Woman's got some stuff going on. She's got connections. Maybe you should check out her stuff. Maybe you'll like some of the stuff going on over there.
Have you met the fish whale yet?
Have you? He's a very nice guy. Yeah. And Mera can only facepalm as Arthur comes to the realization that after liberating thousands of his subjects from another dimension, he now has to rule a land city as well as Atlantis as well. And he's like, oh, I didn't really think about that. And Mera's just like, you never think about these things.
Oh, Aquaman.
Leaving poor Mera now to run 2 kingdoms in his name because he sucks at the kingery.
Best king ever.
Best king ever.
Best
Aquaman.
King ever.
We actually talk about that later in Justice League of America about how great of a king Aquaman is and how great he is at the foreplanning. It was kind of a little bit of I don't want to say push rush ending. Obviously, with the one page of Justice League this is an Aquaman book. It's not a Justice League book, so we probably shouldn't be focusing on them, but it might have been nice to see, Batman tame a dragon. I'm just saying. I understand it's your book, Aquaman, but I would have liked a little bit more on that myself. Mera not needing to be saved, of course. I think that's a given. Honestly, I think we've made no qualms about this and not hidden it in any way. Mera is actually like this is technically the adventures of Mera and her doofus boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it's been a little bit light on the Mera stuff of late because she got obviously replaced by a shapeshifter. So it's nice to see her back and kicking ass once more. I'm happy to see that. We're getting some new direction. This was the end of Cullen Bunn's run, so we get some new stuff coming up here in the future. So, next up.
All right, Black Canary number 7.
Black Canary!
Previously on Black Canary, Black Canary and her arch rivals Bo M, the evil Black Canary band, had an amp versus amp superhero band battle, which ended in a Sonic Scream show-off at the end that Ditto jumped into the middle of. Kurt Lance tried to save her, and they both disappeared into a cloud of smoke. It was super awkward. Band battle kind of ended at that point.
Well, I guess did anyone win? Did they get the big contract?
Well, they kind of evaporated their child figure that they both had maternal feelings towards. So yeah,
awkward.
And my ex-husband, yes, that too.
To be fair, that guy's kind of been tossed around like a plot device so long now that he doesn't really have too much emotion attached to me.
Funny thing you say that, because as the band demands to see their mysterious benefactor, Mr. Pike, at the record label, only to find out that it's an old Kurt Lance,
what?
And he introduces them to their composer. It's been Ditto all along.
What?
Yeah, back up to the current week. So Ditto's from a race made of pure sound energy, and since she can create sounds, that means her people see her as a danger or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well, I guess that would be kind of like us creating flesh. If they're made of sound energy and she can make sounds, that would be kind of like creating golem people monster things.
Perhaps.
That'd be kind of weird, you have to admit.
Yeah. But when her and Kurt disappeared, he traveled back in time and he spent his years building a music fortune.
Like you do when you do back in time.
Yeah, he got it.
Did he play at the Under the Sea dance and then, hey, it's that new sound you've been looking for.
Yeah.
Took the record industry by storm.
Back to the Future and Weeping Angel, Mr.
Man.
Kurt Lance. So he built this fortune so he could stop the Quietus, this giant space sound monster. So they set up a personal concert at Gotham Stadium for the sound monster.
Do they send an invite? Is it like a StubHub thing with just one ticket that only he can buy?
Yes. He's like, you gotta scan your QR code now, it's Quietus. It's like, oh, dirty technology. Me not techie monster.
Is he Cookie Monster with that voice?
Maybe. He just eats sound instead of cookies. So they set up the concert at Gotham Stadium. Bo Mave even joins up so they can recreate the sonic effect of the Battle of the Bands. To destroy the Quietus. And also, when she kidnapped Ditto, she wound up having real maternal feelings for her, and so Ditto doesn't think she's evil. And just like, yes, through body language, I'm going to say you guys should do this magic sound battle thing against the sound monster. It's like, okay, I guess so. So there's a big, huge battle that's like half the issue that's just letting Annie Wu go nuts.
Yeah.
Like with an awesome band-based fight scene against a giant monster.
Interesting.
There's an entire page where Dinah literally beats up the Quietus through a page of sheet music.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's so cool.
Does she club the monster with like a clef sign?
Something along those lines.
Sharp symbols at it.
Yeah. Things go wrong. Everyone gets muted by the Quietus, but suddenly a white ninja, who might be a canary of some sort, shows up and starts throwing symbols like ninja stars at the monster.
Touché.
And so the rest of the band regroups and beats it up as well, enough for like sound to start flowing again. Bo, Dinah, and Ditto perform their sonic attack triple tech and destroy the Quietus. Hooray!
Huzzah!
Amanda Waller takes Kurt Lance since he has Ditto's DNA now. It's like, I've served my purpose.
Plot device away!
And so now the band is left behind wondering, hey, wait, where'd Dinah go? Well, Dinah wakes up in a child's bedroom, and this white ninja, maybe even a white canary, has taken her there.
Uh-oh. Surely her life is in mortal peril. Mm-hmm. There will be nothing to link these two characters together whatsoever.
Nope.
What do you think? I keep seeing mixed reviews on this particular title.
I could totally see how this could go either way for someone.
Yeah, it's one of those, just like the Batgirl, as far as very stylized, I assume, and
yeah, I could see how people who are very dead set and rigid in their view of what Black Canary should be would be rather upset by this, whereas they have justified every single weird change they've made, in my eyes, as someone who has read every single issue. And I like the idea of bringing in these new ideas.
Sure.
So, I'm all on board for this one.
Okay. Well, I mean, it seems
White Canary's a little suspicious. But besides that, wait a minute.
Yeah, a little.
I know how media works.
There's been no setup for that whatsoever, so that's going to be a out of left field. I'm possibly someone you know.
Cross-market synergy. Wait a minute.
Hey, wait a minute. Get out of here, cross-market synergy, man. Is it
Me no get QR code.
Quietus is the cross-market synergy guy?
I get maybe, yeah.
Sure. Next up, Batman.
Me no like paradigms.
Batman and Robin Eternal number 17. I don't have 2 months worth of books to catch up on, so it'll go a little bit easier. We're pretty far in on this. It only goes to like 26 issues, and we're on 17 right now. So what do you say, Brian? Are you ready to learn who Batman received as his Build-A-Robin from Mother?
Well, it was Tim Drake, wasn't it?
Are you ready? I'm just saying.
I guess I'm ready. I thought the issues had already led me believe it was Tim Drake.
Well, anything we know about Eternals, it's full of swerves, right?
True.
It's full of swerves. So, well, it turns out nobody was given over to Batman, because during the flashback that we saw him shooting the parents in Cairo of a kid, we find out that he just set it up. It was all like squibs he was firing, and he was just trying to lure out Mother so he could finally take her down. Unfortunately, things do not go as planned, as the actual acquisition of the Robin that they were going to build for him is taking place at that very moment in Gotham City. Dun 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 dun.
What?
Yes, Cassandra Cain has been dispatched out to Gotham City to procure the kid, kill its parents, and bring the kid back to be conditioned to be a Robin. Dun 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 dun. And even worse off for Batman, he's unable to take down the orphan, who's also there, because the orphan threatens to murder children everywhere, like the orphan does. I mean, that's kind of his.
It's kind of my thing. Yeah.
Well, he's holding Mother's holding kids at gunpoint, and orphan's like, I'm gonna kill more kids too, and they end up getting the drop on him and knock out Batman. So we'll come back to that flashback next week, I'm sure. But in the present, Dick Grayson has taken his little entourage, including Cassandra Cain and Harper Row. Oh yeah, and David Kane, aka the orphan, over to Spiral, because he's like, okay, come on guys, we got to figure this stuff out. So I'm gonna take him to Spiral. We got all sorts of interrogation rooms and stuff. We'll get all the information we need to know and figure this thing out. But it turns out that he's been conditioned to not submit to the hypnos David Kane has, so they can't really do it. So him and Helena Bertinelli go in and just start like punching him in the face, trying to get information, and that doesn't work either. And they're like, man, this sucks. We just need to get this information. But that's when the alarms go off, and they have to run upstairs to the roof where both Tim Drake and Jason Todd have landed their new plane. And they're like, what up, buddy? How's it going? We found out what Mother's secret weapon is. Thought you might want to know. So we just popped in over here to this super spy headquarters, St. Hadrian's School for Finishing Girls, and thought we would just talk about it.
God, don't let Tim Drake into St. Hadrian's.
Tim is very eerily looking at corners like, I could put cameras there and cameras there. But anyhow, while they're up there having their conversation, Harper Row sneaks into the holding cell that has David Kane and starts calling him an ass, because remember, she got to see how he raised Cassandra Cain during all the psychic flashback stuff with the sculptor. So she goes in to yell at him and say, you're a bad dad. Bad dad. Bad. I thought mine was bad, but you're the worst. You are bad. And David Kane just starts laughing and laughing and laughing. And they're like, oh, Harper Row, do you even wonder why Cassandra Cain seems so deferential to you? And like, oh, what can I do for you, Harper Row? What can I do? Why do you think she's always like palling around with you all the time? Did she even tell you who she was sent to Gotham City to kill? I don't think she did, because when you find out, you are going to be pretty angry. And it just ends with him like, wah, ha, 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 laughing into the camera, kind of giving us the nudge that possibly, Harper Row was actually the Robin that was being set up, or at least, conditioned. And that's why she's picked up on this stuff so quickly and has been able to kind of just jump into this whole thing with no training whatsoever.
Yeah. Interesting how that works out, isn't it?
Interesting how that works out. So, again, they're known for their swerves. There's been a lot of contextual clues as far as the flashback stuff where we've seen Cassandra Cain pulling someone by the hair and slitting their throat in Gotham City. And that's why she got all touchy about Harper Row touching her hair and like tugging on it a little bit. And, she's been obviously very clingy to Harper. Very clingy, like, hey, Harper, how's it going? Can I get you a sandwich or something? Anything you need, you just let me know. So, they're kind of setting that up. I guess we'll see where it goes from there, though. Tim Drake is still the elephant in the room, though. So, we'll see where that goes. We'll see. Still enjoy it. Not as much, Tim and Jason, and that's been my main thing. That's my main pull on the series so far. Next up.
All right, am I moving on to Cyborg?
Yes, sir.
All right, Cyborg number 7. So previously in Cyborg, Cyborg took down the Techno Sapiens by hacking their mainframe and uploading a Windows 95 virus into their systems.
Oh, they never saw it coming.
Yeah, because every other planet they conquered just tried to beat them up physically. But he rewrote their programming and installed his regeneration program into their like hive mind network, so infected people could re-heal and get rid of the Techno Sapien virus that they're infecting everyone with.
Sure.
Alternate universe love interest goes off to fight any stragglers across the multiverse, but the world is saved thanks to Cyborg. Woo! And also he regenerated his entire body and can live whole again, but regenerates his cyborg parts because that's the only way the world knows him.
Aww. Trapped between two worlds.
Mm-hmm. So the government is bound to the current issue. The government is cracking down on cybernetics after the whole Techno Sapiens almost take over the world thing.
Little things, yeah, understandable.
So blowhard Senator Champlin is coming to Star Labs Detroit on a fact-finding mission, and he's going to shut them down.
Uh-oh.
So as Cyborg goes in to try to get as much of his dad's research out before the government seizes it, he comes across a backup file of his dead mom.
Wait, a backup?
A backup file of her yeah. So like a holographic ghost version of his mom shows up. It's just like, oh, hey there. I just saw you like a couple hours ago. What the heck happened to you there, Vic? And he's like, well, booyah, but funny enough, there's some things that's been going on. So we get a nice like little catch-up issue where he sort of explains everything that happened out of his series.
That's a good device
to his mom. Yeah. Yeah, but her brainwaves got mapped by a device she was working on before she died. So he gets to tell them everything, and it's pretty sweet, to be perfectly honest. Very sweet, and they like sing their song that they would always sing to each other. It's very nice. And he pulls up like an MP3 of it, so it's a little awkward. It's just like, wow, you're singing much better than you used to, Vic. He's like, well, booyah, you know. Took some vocal lessons while you were gone.
Your lips aren't even moving. Did you learn ventriloquism?
Booyah. So Cyborg explains everything to his mom. Senator Champlin seizes everything because this is an election year, consarn it. And now Cyborg is property of the U.S. government.
Ooh, did they stamp him?
They haven't stamped him yet.
Oh, then
Cyborg doesn't know.
He's not property until they stamp him. Is the rest of the series going to be him running around like while a general has like a big stamp trying to get him?
I hope so. Senator Champlin, who is a thinly veiled Dick Cheney analog, let's be perfectly honest. It's like literally like Dick Cheney meets Burgess Meredith, and he's just like, meh, meh, meh. He's got a cane. I just imagine like a stamp on the end of his cane. It's like, get back here, you cyborg. Meh, meh.
I pray to God no one listens to us whatsoever. ever. For the sanctity of the character alone.
Yes.
Good though? Are you enjoying it? I mean,
yeah, it's a well done. I can see the hurdles you have to drag into. Okay, how do we do a cyborg series?
Well, they have to build supporting cast too, which is what they did with the Techno Sapien stuff. It looks like, as far as his love interest, who's only had cameo appearances throughout
his name
the DCU.
Was not mentioned in the 2 issues I read, so I completely forgot it.
Yep.
Whoops.
Let me think. Obviously his dad, the other technicians that are there, his mom is now in there, and I mean they've built up his best friend from school and everything.
Yeah,
so.
like one of the guys that like lost their limbs because he got he got Techno Sapien. When he went back home, his like actual arm regrew like cybernetically as an actual arm. So it's like, I'm sure that'll be touched back on again.
I'm sure.
I think some Men in Black came for him because, he
stamped
property of the government, So things are happening, but I, as much as I realize it kind of maybe disrupts the flow of the trade, if you're reading monthly, a couple name stamps here and there wouldn't kill you.
Oh, as far as the characters?
Yeah, just because as someone who's only read like the past couple issues, if you haven't repeated their name since the first time they appeared, it's a little hard.
Sarah Charles.
Sarah Charles, thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Yeah, God, I remember that from like issue 2.
Well,
my memory's good sometimes. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not all the time, but sometimes. So let's jump forward from your very touching reuniting of a son with his mother via MP3s and holograms and whatnot, but still to something a little less, and that is Deathstroke number 14. It doesn't have as many feels, shall we say.
Okay.
Where last month, after his mission to invade Belrev prison to find his daughter that he believed Amanda Waller was behind doing, taking her captive, it turns out no. She had nothing to do with it whatsoever, and he ends up beating up Snakebite, some snake monster, and then he escapes with the help of Catwoman, and whoop, 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 back to his spy headquarters with the
I looked up Snakebite after last episode, and man, that's a visual.
Yeah, I mean, it's a, you can almost hear, like if it was in a movie, you would hear the of all the little tentacles like around. It's a pretty good character design, though, you have to admit. As far as the poison snake guy thing, but he has all the little tail barb whippy tentacles as well. So
he's gonna fight She-Ra any minute.
Hey, I don't care. I think it's a good design myself. So now that he's back with the dead bastards, he's back at square one. He's going, what the hell? Where am I gonna find my daughter? And his friends there at this spy agency that he's working with come up and say, hey, buddy, we made you a DNA tracker so you could at least try to find her whenever you're kind of close. And word on the street is that your daughter is actually being moved around quite a bit and is now being held captive in the LexCorp building. So you should probably go over there and get her. And he goes, okay, straps on his little DNA finder, a bunch of guns, some swords, some grenades, etc., and heads on over to LexCorp, where he just plows through all of the defenses that are in this building, all the inept guards that... Why would you work for LexCorp as a security guard? I don't know, but they do, and they all get beat up, and then he runs across Mercy Graves. Is this the robot sidekick of Lex Luthor, the bodyguard?
Oh, that Mercy, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't realize she had a last name.
Yep, well, she shows up and does like, hi-ya, and chops his gun out of his hand and starts fighting him. And then she uploads the Lex Luthor AI into a giant purple and green robot suit that then comes out and blasting all over the place, and the two keep fighting. This is one really big fight scene of Deathstroke fighting everyone in a LexCorp building until finally the floor gets blown out from underneath him.
And I can't wait until Superman, Lois, and Clark to unpack that part of LexCorp. Continue.
Okay, fair enough. The floor gets blown out from underneath him, and he falls down into the basement, where he falls right in the middle of an easy-bake Bizarro muscle contest of doom, and they are all angry. Look at this picture, Brian. Come on.
Oh my god.
They are all flexing and just like in various poses, like, grrr, grrr.
What you am not going to do when Bizarro am run wild on you? Run mild on you. I don't know.
Run mild. But yeah, he's very confused, obviously, and, it's not a good place to be. I do love the fact that they're continuing with the father-son relationship that Lex had with the Bizarro in Forever Evil, to the point that he's trying to make new ones just to be his like surrogate kids, kind of. I think that's a great thing. You would think the formula is pretty easy. Just don't finish them.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's trying to find the right blend of exactly the right 11 herbs and spices and baking times and etc., because there's a bunch of Bizarros down here. And as we see in the
get me old Norm Macdonald, please.
As we see at the bottom here, next month it's Deathstroke versus an army of Bizarros. Not 1,000 ninjas.
Not quite the same.
But it is an army of Bizarros. Yeah. The internet has taken this book and started calling it the Blue's Clues plot device, where it's basically like, gee, hey, reading audience, do you know where my daughter is? And then everyone in the audience is just yelling who they want Deathstroke to fight. They're like, he's over with the Suicide Squad. And Deathstroke goes, okay. And he goes over there and beats up the Suicide Squad and goes, no, he's not.
I'm going to cross out Suicide Squad in my handy-dandy notebook.
So it's kind of a
I would like to see him resting on a gigantic red chair in between issues.
Yeah, well, that
also wearing a striped sweater.
Also, definitely needs that. But it works for what they want this to be, which is basically Deathstroke versus X. And that's what they're using this vehicle as, with the daughter out there being held captive by someone. no one's saying that in a negative manner. Please don't take that as such. People absolutely love that it's basically Deathstroke versus, and they have a reason. As thin as it
Quotation
may be, they
fingers.
have a reason to do it, and it's an entertaining action read because of that. So I'm just throwing it out there that because before in the last arc I was saying, hey, this one's a bit more cerebral, a lot more spies, identity crisis type stuff.
Possum.
Yeah, possum, a lot more possum. This one, a little less on the cerebral, a little bit more on the action. So I just wanted to make sure people understood there was a switch over there, and didn't come in and go, what the hell is Slammo talking about? So, next up.
All right, going Grayson?
Are we? I think so. I probably should have sent you the list.
Maybe.
Yes, Grayson.
All right, Grayson. Now, previous in Grayson, Robin War happened, where like all the previous Robins train and test the current We Are Robin kids, and it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, especially the Dick and Duke interactions, because Duke is apparently the only person besides Lex Luthor that knows how to use Google in the DCU.
All right, fair enough.
It's like, I know you're Dick Grayson, swirly face spy guy.
Well, don't jump too much into the Robin War stuff. So
Yeah. But and the other thing is that's really important is Damien is just an unrepentant dick to all the other Robins. he's just like, excuse me, I'm Robin? No, none of you. No.
None of you are Robin.
I'm going to shut you down at every single possible.
This is a royal we. I am Robin.
Yes. Me and the mouse in my pocket are Robin. But none of that matters to the actual Grayson story at hand, because the one where Grayson just found out that Spiral is a gigantic hoax made by Otto Nets to help to sustain chaos in the world.
Yep.
That's what we're picking up back up on.
Yep. Evil begets
Robin
evil.
War, you delayed this book for a month.
That's
Robin
okay.
War.
We'll come back to the
I don't
Robin
care
War
how
stuff.
fantastic that particular issue of Robin War was.
That's fine. We're going to come back to it.
We're back
at a
to the
later time.
important part. So, I may be glossing over some things because I don't want to give away everything, but this is amazing.
It really is.
Oh my god, I made the mistake of reading this first and then had to put away all my books for like a day just because I had to let it sit. So, we open on a point of view of a super cool super spy dropping off his high-priced sports car and going through a bar and assigning James Bond inappropriate names to all the ladies he's going to sleep with. And he orders a drink at the bar, and Dick Grayson is the bartender. I learned this trick from Tim Drake.
Oh, jeez.
So the jerk who was narrating at the beginning is Agent 7 and Agent 37 Dick Grayson, Agent 1 Tiger, are methodically traveling around the world taking out every single agent and mission being carried out by Spiral right now.
Yep. Yeah, they decided to dismantle it from the outside, just take down agent by agent.
It is amazing and super badass. It is mostly punctuated by Dick calling Agent 1 Tony the Tiger and wondering how the hell all these chumps, all these like chump agents that they're beating up have higher numbers than his.
Man, my pencil wasn't working on test day. That must have been...
Yeah.
This guy's Agent 22? Is there anyone Agent 38 or above?
Yes.
Anyone?
No, am I seriously the highest number? And so you keep calling me Tony the Tiger, that's why you're Agent 37.
I'm totally going to kill you. Is today that day? Nope. Then no problem.
Yep. And also very important in this issue is Dick coming up with his own theme song to annoy Tiger as they travel around the world, punching sharks and looking handsome through James Bond poster motifs.
Yes, it's to the tune of Goldfinger. While he's while every page is a James Bond opening scene type action collage type thing. Oh my
He's
God.
Agent 37. Face full of swirls. He gets all the girls, except he calls them women, even though it doesn't rhyme because he respects them as equal gender. Agent 37.
He throws his gun. You shouldn't throw your gun.
No.
Do you think that's dumb? It's so good. It's lighthearted. It's kind of
It makes him look so cool.
It does. Reddit was saying that somewhere Midnighter is just furiously reading through Agent 1, Agent 37 fan fiction right now.
Maybe he's writing his own. He can come up with all possibilities in his head.
That's true. He would be the ultimate fan fiction writer.
Helena is super worried that Dick and Tiger have gone Rogue Nation. Before I know it, they may even invoke Ghost Protocol. And who knows? And who knows what them putting on hoodies would do to our sales numbers?
Yeah,
they've got to keep those shirts off.
That's right.
So she blackmails Frankenstein, Grifter, King
Doesn't
Faraday.
blackmail. She works with all of them.
Yeah.
They're all the representatives of their various spy groups.
Yeah. Bronze Tiger and a bunch of other people I don't recognize. So maybe they were in issues I didn't read to take them out.
Well, some of them are different groups and whatnot. They haven't really shown up yet, except
like a
in
weird,
maybe
like
other
weird,
books
like
or side characters that haven't really been touched upon. You just saw in the background.
Some lady that looks like a mannequin, some sort of Ringu lady.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically every spy agency in the DCU. Practically every spy agency in the DCU.
All of our favorite acronym-based shady government organization.
Hey, Frankenstein as the representative of Shade? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like I'm going to be complaining about Frankenstein showing up in an issue with Grayson, please. But I love the fact that Bronze Tiger doesn't even need to be blackmailed because he ran a mission with Dick once and he wouldn't stop calling him Bronze Tony the Tiger.
Just running jokes, man.
Yeah.
Running jokes.
So Agent 1 gets wind that the Syndicate, the best agents in the world, are after them, so they need to get help. So Dick turns to the only people he can think of, Checkmate, and one Maxwell Lord to join their side.
Maxwell Lord?
I'm shaking hands with Maxwell Lord. Nothing can possibly go wrong.
That made me turn my head when I saw Maxwell Lord. Just spun right around.
Mm-hmm. In my head, right round.
No, it's so solid. So solid, and it's building up to this ultimate spy war between all of your acronym-based groups that you make fun of all the time.
Yeah.
And eventually Steve Trevor is going to have to get involved, and I'm just going to be like, yes. It's the perfect culmination of taking a character, taking him out of his element, making something new that is an obvious homage to a lot of other things. I mean, this is basically take Archer and put him in James Bond.
Yeah.
Like an actual James Bond spy organization type thing where it's all these double dealings and Dr. No style organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And you just take Archer and go bloop. There you go. Run free. You have none of the rest of your wacky supporting cast. Everyone else is straight faced. It's just you.
Alana.
It's just you right in the middle of all of this. But it works. It works so well. I'm so happy you enjoy it. So happy. I felt like an ass because I was just a broken record for 10 issues of just like, it's so good. Guys, you have to read it. Guys, you have to read it.
Now, the issue where they saved the kid from the desert was just so good.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
just
stuck me in there in the middle for
it's a very stunning visual book as well. Jannon's just dominates it.
Killing it.
The colors are very vibrant. They're very bright. It's very, matching in the tone of the stories being told as well. So, while you have this whole, spy thing going on with double crossing and whatnot, colors are vibrant and bright, and it's jokes and quips and
Jason's
James
such
Bond
he's such a lovable idiot.
So I'm going to wrap up this half with Justice League of America number 7. It's the JLA, Brian. And we're back to Raoul.
Back to
Raoul. Dealing with the god of Krypton who has come to Earth in his giant spaceship. And he has basically conquered all of Earth. He has taken it over with his love. He has cured cancer. He's stopped wars. He's fed the world. People are kind of digging him. They're kind of like, hey, you're a pretty cool guy, Raoul. We're going to worship you. And the rest of the JLA has found out that he's actually siphoning off life force of the planet to extend his own life. So they kind of want to stop him. They don't want this to happen. So they've all been split up in their efforts, and we kind of check in on each and every one of them. In this one, Batman and Cyborg find out that this particular cathedral giant spaceship that he has in orbit is one of thousands. He's got one over thousands of other planets already siphoning off their energy and their worship to power Rao himself and allow him to do all of these quote unquote miracles, curing cancer and making crops grow and stuff like that. He uses the life force of all of his people to make these miracles happen. And they go, well, that's a lot of people for us to break a link on. If only there was some way we could figure out how to break this network of items. If only we had someone that was good with computers that could get into a network and maybe disrupt it somehow.
Does he have Windows 95 loaded up?
He does not. And they use their one Windows 95 laptop. They're going to have to install it. They have to go to the store and find the discs that you could. And it's really, they have to dig through boxes in the attic to try to find 95. All those 3.5 floppies. They're going to be like, man, there's like 82 of them here. What the hell? That could take him a good 2-3 issues. So we'll come back to them a little bit later. Aquaman, meanwhile, found out that it was not a good idea to leave a bunch of alien proselytizers in Atlantis while he went back to Amnesty Bay to Netflix and chill with his girlfriend.
Yeah. So
he comes back to Atlantis. All of the people are now fervently worshiping Rao, and he's like, whoa, we don't worship Rao around here. We're just normal folk. We don't need to worship alien gods. And they all turn on him and start attacking him because he tries to kick the bishops out of there. And all of a sudden he gets teleported away. But where did he go? He goes to Olympus because Wonder Woman was there and she saw him in trouble. And she's the only god of Olympus left. All of the other ones ran away when Rao came to destroy all the pantheons. So she is the owner of Olympus. She is Olympus, as she keeps saying. And she has her powers, godly powers of all the pantheon, and pulls Aquaman to safety and goes, so I was thinking about going to kick this Rao guy's butt, my boyfriend's deity. You want to join? We can go hit the god armory, and I can give you Poseidon's spear again. I'm going to take Hades' helmet and Zeus's thunderbolt and Mercury's shoes. So Wonder Woman's decked out.
Sip from Dionysus's cup for courage.
Wonder Woman is decked to the nines, about to bring an entire pantheon worth of doom upon Rao's head, and they're still strapping on all their gear. It's that montage going off to the side. Might take an issue or so for that to get done. Flash, meanwhile, is lost in time. He's stuck back in the 60s working with the Infinity Corporation.
Are they conveniently playing songs from the 60s that you might recognize with their pilot budget, being able to play whatever songs they want?
What are you insinuating?
I don't know.
I take it you saw some DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So they end up doing all of their basically info dump on, hey, Rao's a bad person. Rao's actually not a deity. He just siphons off life energies. He does it using these stones of eternity. We have a couple here ourselves. We heard there's a big crisis coming and we're trying to stop it. That's why we're trying to maneuver all the pieces so we can prevent that from happening. But we have to figure out how to get you back in the present to make that work. That might take an issue or two. So we'll come back to you later. Do you see where we're going with this?
Yeah.
See where we're going? Green Lantern is lost even further back in time. God, this gets convoluted right here. He is actually on Krypton during his formative years, 250,000 years ago. So 250,000 years ago on Krypton, Green Lantern Hal Jordan is walking around with the kind of neophyte Rao as he's just taken over as leader of his people, and he's got some of his powers, but obviously not many. And he is fighting against the militant city of Argo as he leads his followers to try to, take over all of Krypton and make sure it's safe and stop all these petty tribal wars between the cities. And Green Lantern's like, okay, well, that's a pretty good idea. We should probably do that. And they go and have a peace negotiation with Argo, where they find out Argo is actually being led by another Rao, an older Rao from further along in his timeline, who got defeated and sent back in time to start all over again, so that he can rebuild.
Someone knock some rocks into my head so I can understand all this, everybody.
What is up with Superman's side characters like Superboy and now his god, all getting sent back in time to restart and redo and overwrite themselves? But both of the Raos are just like, what? How are you here? How am I here? How am I you here? What? And Green Lantern's just like, yeah, I don't know really what to do here. I don't really bring too much to the table in this whole thing, so I guess we'll have to figure out what's going on. Another thing of note, the future Rao is in the Infinity Corporation building that he has set up right in the middle of Argo, so I'm assuming he has the time travel capabilities from the Infinity Corporation building to jump around. I told you it got a little convoluted at that point. just realize there's two Raos. It looks like we got the end of the series right here, where they're going to defeat Rao in the present and send him back in time in the Infinity Corporation thing to the past, where Hal Jordan, I'm sure, will fix that problem because that's what he's good at. Governance. Way to go, Hal Jordan. Way to put your strongest guy in governance back there to solve those issues. Last but not least, Superman has decided to throw down with his parasite of a god. Global warming is not destroying the glaciers and everything in the Arctic. It's Superman and Rao because they are just destroying all of the Arctic Circle around his Fortress of Solitude. And finally he ends up getting captured and he gets hauled up to their cathedral ship in orbit where they use Kryptonian crystals to kind of like put him in a Vitruvian Man style prison where he's like chained into the middle of the ship itself. And Rao just goes, "Hey buddy, how's it going? You're like one of the last of the pureblood Kryptonians. I'm the god of the Kryptonians. No Kryptonians really left except for you and me. So I thought what I could do is take your DNA, use my little miracle mojo, and turn everyone on Earth into Kryptonians. And then I'll fulfill my prophecy. I will have saved the Kryptonians and brought them back from extinction. What do you say to that?" And Superman's like, "No? Is that an option? Can I just say no? No, I can't say that? Okay, well, I'm gonna say no anyway, and he starts going, "Hurrah! Hurrah!" And Rao's just kind of like scratching his head.
What's he doing?
He's going, "Hurrah!" Just kind of like straining himself, and Rao's just scratching his head going, yeah, you're not gonna escape. Even I can't escape from that, so I don't know what you think you're doing here." And Superman keeps going, "Hurrah! Hurrah!" And Rao's just like, "What the heck is up with, is this really the last Kryptonian?" And Superman goes, "Not trying to escape, flying." And then we pan back and we see he's just basically dragging the entire ship with him as he plows it into the surface of the moon.
Man.
Yeah, it was a badass Superman scene, and it was still just very funny because it's like a page of him just going, and everyone's just looking around like, what is up with this guy? Is he trying out for the Bizarro muscle contest? I don't know.
I know, right?
It's solid. I have to admit, I know the Green Lantern's part sounded really convoluted, but as I said, I think this is a Ouroboros snake eating its own tail where we're getting the ending in the middle, and we're going to see how this is going to play out to get to that point. So, solid character work and big widescreen action as you expect. So
I just imagine that Hans Zimmer score while he's like,
but that's it. That wraps up the first half of this episode. Brian, why don't you tell them what's coming up for round dose?
I've got Justice League 3001, Superman, Lois and Clark, Superman by himself, and Suicide Squad Most Wanted, Deadshot plus Katana.
Woo! And I have, let's see here, Omega Men. So dark. So freaking dark. Teen Titans, and then I will wrap it up with some We Are Robin. Unless Damien has something to say about it. So hold on a couple seconds. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will go through those books.
And we're back.
We have returned. Again, another Sean size. I'm like the girl from Black Canary. I'm making mass out of mass after blowing my nose yet again. Yeah. Woo. So we are going to lead off this half with some more Justice League action, but in the future. Brian, what you got?
All right. Well, Justice League 3001, number 8. But previously in Justice League 3001.
Previously, like in Justice League?
Previously last month in Justice League 3001.
Okay, gotcha. Well,
Yeah,
it's in the future. You could do
yeah.
previously, like all the way back to 60s
Previously
or
in the
something.
future, yeah. Remember in A Bug's Life when all the little tiny like Girl Scout ants are demonstrating what's going to happen when the circus bugs fight the grasshoppers,
Vaguely.
and they're just like die,
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened.
Oh man.
Super Douche is dead. Batman is dead. The Super Buddies are dead. Barry Allen's like third body is dead. Tiny Hal Jordan is dead. Dead.
Yay! Justice
Yay.
League 3001.
Yep.
That took a dark turn.
The Justice League 3001 is no more. Long live the Justice League 3001. So now we have an all-female Justice League 3001. It worked so good for A-Force.
Well,
Why can't we do
killed
it
off
too?
everyone else?
The Scullions. The
That's
Scullion
right.
Army.
The super polite Scullions.
Yes,
I forgot.
the super polite death robots. Yes. The current Justice League 3001 is Michael Turner Supergirl sent forward in time.
Okay.
And possibly through continuities. Wonder Woman 3001. The Terry Flash 3001.
Okay.
Immortal Fire and Ice. Lady Guy Gardner. And the Tina Sung giant robot batsuit Batgirl.
Okay. Fair enough. That's a team. That is a team right there.
So they've taken up residence in the ruins of Paradise Island to combat the new intergalactic rule of Lady Styx.
Okay, fair enough.
She's in charge
She's still around even this far in the future, huh?
Yep, she's in charge of the Scullion army and is imposing her rule on the galaxy in exchange for blind obedience from its populace.
Okay.
So the Justice League is dealing with all of their issues of loss and living boring, normal, secret identity lives to stay hidden from these Scullions. And it's driving Wonder Woman insane, and Tina is just going ape nuts as Batgirl, trying to figure out how to kill a Scullion. And she's also dressing as a Robin under her robot suit so she can be both the hero and the sidekick.
Okay.
She's a breath of fresh air in all of the death, dying, sadness, loss.
Crushing despair.
And there's Tina being silly, the descendant of Bruce Wayne.
Does she converse with herself as well? Does she give herself orders and occasionally lie to herself or not tell the truth to
because
herself?
we saw her robot batsuit adventures before she revealed that she was Robin as well.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
We'll see if that continues on as that. So Lady Styx is ruling over a court of underlings that seems to include brainwashed versions of various Legion members like Timberwolf, Wildfire, who I had to look up, and Saturn Girl.
You didn't know Wildfire? He's the guy in the suit, right?
Yeah.
The pure energy being.
Mm-hmm. So
he's gone through like 12 suits already in the new 52.
Really, yeah. Well, also, there's just so many.
And every single time it's like, no, they killed Wildfire. He's made of pure energy. He's leaked out of his suit. Yeah, well, we got another suit. We can just put him in now.
Oh, okay, just stuff him in there. Okay.
And every single time it happens, the same thing occurs. The same characters yell, no, they killed Wildfire. Guys, we've gone through this like 3 times already.
There's just so many fire-based heroes. I'm like, wait, is it this one? I'm gonna get yelled at if I say the wrong fire-based hero name. And she has also kidnapped the neutered husk of Terry's twin brother, Terry.
Nice.
So she is going to bring him back to life for her own nefarious needs.
Is it to host a reality television show? Because that's how Lady Six was trying to take over the entire galaxy in the present day.
Oh, that was
the Threshold Hunted.
That was what
show.
Threshold was. Lady Styx being Mojo.
Yeah,
Okay.
where she was trying to run her Death World produced show
trying to
take over the world via ratings.
Like
I'm
an
assuming.
intergalactic Rob Burnett and or Bertram von Munster. That's the Amazing Race guy. It's the best name ever. At the end of every episode, I'm like, man, that's a good name. Bertram Van Munster. Oh.
He got where he is by that name alone.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, continue. I'm sorry, sidetracked you.
No, that was the issue.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Mwahaha,
Mwahaha.
the big bad from the first arc is still alive. Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha. Not as lighthearted as.
Not quite. Tina's funny.
Yeah.
It's almost as if they said, hey, this isn't working. If you want to keep going, you've got to try a different angle.
Well, I think they've given them free reign, and they're just.
I don't know, maybe.
They have the ability to kill people if they want to, and technically bring them back.
I suppose they could do that.
Differing personalities, even because it's kind of based off of the the data they have and the personality that was overwritten.
But they completely destroyed Cadmus world. Like, they just
they did kind of trash that.
Done, dead.
If only there was someone like a 50 Sue that in the past took the entire vault of all the data and hid it somewhere during some sort of like minor event like Future's End or something like that.
Maybe.
That they could possibly maybe go find it again.
Go find it in Tekran Gulgos or something.
Yeah, maybe. If only there was some way.
Only. Huh.
Just throw that out there.
Well, didn't we think that 50 Sue was one of the 5 at one point?
Yeah. Yep. Indeed. Still good though. Still enjoying it.
It's
I know
still fun,
the loss of Porter hurts.
Loss of Porter's sad. Scott Collins is there. Scott Collins is doing a Scott Collins thing. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. We did get Porter elsewhere though.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on to Omega Men. If you want dour, soul-crushing despair,
die.
I give you Omega Men as the prime example of just a harsh, brutal, for as fantastic and out there in the cosmos, alien creatures and stuff like that, probably the most realistic depiction of war that we have in comic books right now.
Yay.
Yeah, exactly. It is soul crushing. After the Omega Men literally flew their aircraft into a densely populated cityscape, killing thousands upon thousands of people, a month has passed and they have been demonized as terrorists for their actions across the universe. If you recall, it was most of them have been taken captive, and it was Scraps and Doc were the only ones left, so they flew their Omega ship into the Citadel capital to break them free, and now they are horrible, horrible terrorists who have killed thousands of people by flying an aircraft into the giant towers of the main cityscape.
Whoops
indeed.
I can't imagine what that's similar to at all.
This whole thing is just shades of gray. It's so shades of gray. The entire time we've seen the Omega Men do horrible, horrible things. Horrible acts of terrorism. I mean, it is not even painted over. They're not trying to make it seem like they're good. These people have done horrible things, and we've seen the Citadel do equally horrible things. And it's just been this war of grayness where no one is completely in the right, and Kyle Rayner's been kind of stuck in the middle of it. And these two issues, we finally start to get some headway as far as where he's turning to. Because Kyle is still with Callista, and he's making the sexy with her still. She's seduced him.
Because Kyle Rayner
and Space Babe. That's what he does. And they know they need to get off of the Citadel homeworld. They just took part in a horrible, horrible terrorist act, and they go, we probably don't want to be here. So they get hooked up with a smuggler who sells them a pair of Hypnos that he got off of some Earth dude.
Huh.
Yes. In an awesome trade a couple months back. I so hope we see the intergalactic adventures of Grayson and Agent 1 Tony the Tiger as they chase down spiral agents into space.
Moonraker. This seems very odd for the franchise. Why are we shooting space lasers? Did Star Wars just come out or something? I don't know.
Let's just do it. Let's see what happens. I've built a Death Star.
What are you doing here, Jaws? This makes very little sense.
I don't know what's happening. He ends up trading his mother's cross because Earth items are considered like huge budget luxury items because they don't get sent as far out to the Vega system, but everyone hears all the stories about what happens on Earth, and it's just this crazy place where just insane shit happens all the time. So anything from Earth is super valued in the Vega system. I thought that was
kind of
nice
funny.
little touch.
Yeah, that is.
So he sells his mother's cross to get them these Hypnos and get plane tickets, and they get on there. And as they walk through security, they get on the plane. Kyle looks over to Callista and goes, hey, I know I'm not the brightest candle on the cake, but you told me that you were done the same
understatement of the year.
But I know this whole thing has been predicated on the fact that I had a bomb implanted in my neck that I found out last issue was actually just a tracking device. And you said that they captured you and did the same thing to you, but you don't have a little wound on your neck where they removed it. And we just walked through a metal detector. have you been bullshitting me? And it comes to that he finally puts one and one together, that it's all been a play to try to get him to work with them and stay on their side. So he ends up pulling a gun on her and holding her at gunpoint and says, where's the rest of the Omega Men? I know you guys set this whole thing up. What's going on? And it turns out the rest of the Omega Men are also on the ship as well. They're the only ones on the ship because they have to go to the planet Viral, where they can finally give Kyle Rayner the answers that he's been asking. Why are you guys doing all these horrible things? What possibly is driving you to do it? And they go, well, you need answers. We're going to take you to where those answers are, which takes us to this week's issue, where they get to the planet Viral. And we learn why the Omega Men fight, because after the destruction of Krypton, we're jumping into the past a little bit, all of the planets go, we're kind of super overdeveloped as well, and we're kind of pulling energy from our cores. That could probably happen to us. We don't want that to happen to us. Oh, Citadel leaders, what can we do to stop this? And the Citadel learn of this compound called Stellarium, Unobtainium. We'll just say Unobtainium.
Plot devicium.
Yes, plot devicium. MacGuffinimanium. that can actually stabilize a core, but it can only be done by basically destroying the planet that they mine it from. So they have to find planets, and they're trying to get people to resettle. It's not really working. And there's this one planet called Viral that has a planetary shield around it that have basically been the Tims of Aquaman, where every single time the Citadel does something, this planet Viral goes, you suck, Citadel!
Tims of Aquaman.
It was a callback earlier in the episode. So, the Citadel don't like these guys whatsoever, but they have a planetary shield. They can't get to them. They're like, oh, we hate those guys. Oh, if only we could get rid of them and we could just destroy that planet, get all the plot devicium out of it, and save the rest of the universe, make them think we're awesome, and because they're behind a shield, no one would know that we murdered everyone on it. But how do we get past the shield? How do we do that? And we get some more backstory of the rest of the Omega Men, where Tigor was actually sent by his father to fight the Citadel, ended up captured and was just beaten and broken down, and ended up working for the High Priest of the Citadel, and was sent back to his father to kill him and claim the Key of Alpha. One of the Key of Alpha. If we recall, we just lost Block when he went and got the Key of Omega.
Ah, okay.
So, the Key of Alpha opens up the shield and allows the Citadel to go in and just rain death. But they figure, God, if we send all of our troops, that might be some bad PR. They probably would come back and say, we just totally murdered an entire planet. And that might not be good for the Citadel. So we're going to make these specific robots and program them to murder women and children and kids and send them there. And it turns out it's the Doc series of robots, the robot that's been running around with Primarch and everything that's part of the Omega Man. And we see him just murdering women and children across all of Viral. And when the High Priest shows up after it's been done, he just sees all the bodies everywhere and goes, oh, tuss. This is so uncivilized for us sophisticated folk. You there, robot, come here. You will make a grave for every citizen of this planet and tend to it. You will love these people and treat them as your family and bury them with the honor they deserve. And goes, huff, and gets on his plane and flies away, leaving for the following decades poor Doc to sit there and dig graves for each and every citizen of this planet, all billions of them, until he buries them all. And as he's doing so, he runs across a little girl.
Does he at least befriend an adorable cockroach?
He does not.
Oh.
He does not. But he does
Listen to some Carol Channing.
He does befriend a little girl who survived the attack by the name of Scraps, who he takes in and loves as his own daughter because he's been ordered to love all the citizens as family. And it's just crushing as to why all these people are doing. Yeah, I mean, it's just so bad. So bad. And they take Kyle there and they show him just this planet of graves, essentially. And Doc's like, I made every single one of these graves. Not just the graves themselves, but the people that populated. I murdered them and buried them. And I am responsible for them. And these people are my family now. I was told these are my family and I have to do something about this. And Scraps is just in tears, crying, remembering her childhood, Callista was there at the meeting with her dad when that whole thing took place and they decided to destroy Vorl. And, all of these people just feel so responsible for these deaths of billions. Just the weight is entirely on their shoulders. And they're like, yeah, we know we're not good people. We're doing bad things, but these people have to pay for what they did. They just have to. And, Tigor's talking shit to, Kyle about how, yeah, and you say you have a god? Your god doesn't know crap. I mean, look what the Alpha and the Omega brings. We bring death. We bring change. We bring everything. And finally, Kyle just loses his crap and, lays out Tigor and goes into this whole tirade about how his god is the Alpha and the Omega. He's the beginning and the end. And, it's his god's fault for all that he allowed all of these things happen. And it's Kyle Rayner's fault as well. And the, Omega men fill him in that they want, their entire plan is, hey, the leader of this citadel took your white lantern ring. What we want you to do is overload it with power and make it detonate so it kills all of the leaders in Congress when he's giving a speech to them. And, we can reset this whole thing and start from zero. And Kyle's just like, holy shit, I am in deep. I am in so over my pay grade right now.
Woof.
I just fly around and sleep with sexy space women. This is not what I do. I feel like I have a lot of crap on my shoulders right now. And that's basically where we end it. And as I said, this is a heavy, heavy title that is the most realistic of the world, I think. And
Kyle Rayner's going to wind up on the next season of Serial, isn't he?
Probably.
Oh,
probably. Man. But it's dark. It's dark. It's the Fallout War never changes, but it's, God, you really don't want to dwell on that too much.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
And then I slept with a space babe. Dun, 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 dun.
We need the backup singers from Little Shop of Horrors so they can pop in. Da-doop, da-doop. He slept with that girl. Yeah, it needs something to lighten it up because holy shit. That is dark. I don't know where they would go from this.
Space dentist? I don't know.
I know it got canceled and it ends at 12, but even if it didn't, I don't know where they would have gone with this afterwards. That wouldn't have just been even more despairing and
Good
more
Lord.
just the world is shit. The universe is no different and you just got to make your way through the best you can.
Curl up under a blanket in the corner of your house.
Cause God, you had to sit down Grayson because it was so lighthearted and fun. I started with Omega Man and just had to just walk away for a day because I was like, I can't, guys.
Oh, man.
I can't.
Oof.
So next up,
Superman, Lois and Clark?
Yeah, do some Superman stuff for
Superman,
me.
Lois and Clark, number 4. But previously in Superman, Lois and Clark, old continuity incognito Clark Kent defeated a telekinetic menace, an all-white named Blanc, and he imprisons him in his secret mountain base. And then while trying to figure out what's up with Hank Henshaw and why he's not a cyborg Superman in this continuity, it's your uncle, dude. So while he's doing that in said base, Blanc takes control of Hank's mind and uses him to escape, and someone's still looking for the Oblivion Stone.
Fair enough.
Someone is still looking for the Oblivion Stone. To the current issue this week, we get a flashback to several years ago when Lois and Clark took a secret vacation to Metropolis to check up on things.
Oh no. Well, here it comes.
Yep.
Here it comes. It's what I asked for.
And they're just like, man, it's a lot dirtier than ours and like not as modern. It's like, why aren't there like space buildings here? That make no sense with
Star
modern.
Labs just has like a shack around the corner. What is up with that?
Yeah. They are thrilled to know that Harley the saxophone man that he would tip every single day is consistent across all continuities, which I thought was kind of funny. But they are shocked to find out that Bibbo owns a microbrewery.
Oh,
just like, Bibbo, what's going on?
Is he like a Brooklyn hipster?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, I call myself Bibbo because, it's the cool thing to do. I got these, it's like, Bibbo, why you got those gigantic quarters in your ears? I'm like, this is what I do, man.
It helps me make my artisanal brews.
Yep. Hops and barley and hops, So, Eddie uses this time. It's like, I went and I checked up on LexCorp and they're perfectly clean. Is Lex maybe a good guy here? It's like, I don't know about that. It's like, did you miss all the purple and green robots? Like we saw in Justice League that or what was that? Deathstroke.
Yes.
We saw in Deathstroke, he's just got death robots everywhere.
Just everywhere.
Old continuity Superman.
Maybe he thinks that he turned over a new leaf. Remember, he's a hero in this timeline.
Mm-hmm.
He's part of the Justice League. He's palling around. He saved the world with Black Manta and everyone else, and Sinestro, and those other paragons of goodness,
of virtue. Yes. Yes, and this is also where Lois gets him the all-black, capeless Superman outfit that he uses to fight crime in secret. And they even point out the giant silver S on the black suit is kind of dumb if you're trying to hide, but come on, it's a Superman book. What else are we
No,
gonna
it's
do?
for sneaky guy. That's the S is for sneaky guy.
Yes, not Hope, sneaky. In current times, Lois Lane goes to visit a friend who won't return her calls, only to find out it was a setup by Bruno Ugly Mannheim of Intergang to find out who Author X is when she came back to check on her.
Da, 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 da.
So now he has seen both her and their son John. That's not good.
Does he recognize her as Lois Lane, or
he just knows what she has like her glasses and her hat on, but he knows what she looks like now.
Okay, gotcha.
And he knows what.
Well, I wasn't sure if he knew her as Lois Lane, and he's going to start targeting the
other Lois. I do not know. That's a possibility, but I
Lane
guess technically she's a little bit older in this continuity, so it wouldn't look exactly like her.
Well, it could have been just
different
didn't
haircut.
have her, no makeup that day or something.
Yeah, like how when Clark talks to the blind musician monster, it's like, oh hey Clark, how's it going? It's like, oh, it's nice to know that I'm still tipping this guy here. It's nice to know that.
Tipping never changes.
So, and meanwhile, Blanc has escaped. He temporarily incapacitates Superman, and he has a possibly boring, normal, mind-controlled Hank Henshaw, and they're off to go and kill Superman's wife and child because he doesn't like being imprisoned in mountain bases.
I guess that's a fair tit for tat right there.
Yeah.
You lock
So
me up in
basically,
a mountain base,
everyone is
murder your family.
everyone is coming for Lois and John, pretty much. And meanwhile, in space,
How old is John in this book?
would put him like maybe fourth grade-ish.
Okay.
They may have said
So
at one
he's
point,
walking around talking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
He's a young kid.
Okay. I'm just making sure we're not
elementary
dealing
age.
with like toddler or something.
No, he's
like
not.
that,
No, he's not like toddler. He's walking around. He's using his smartphone for everything because he's a kid these days.
Yeah, yeah, he knows how it works.
He's always looking up news on his smartphone.
Got
getting
his
in trouble at school.
hashtag. Way to go, sneaky guy.
Yep. And in space, someone is still looking for the Oblivion Stone.
That seems like a very
Someone's looking for the Oblivion Stone,
plot
Sean.
point right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
no. Actually, they found out it's on Earth, so they're coming to Earth too. Probably being held in Lois and John's like the back of their hatchback or whatever.
in Lois's purse. She just has it in there.
Oh, the Oblivion Stone? Yes. This is what makes me Author X, having the Oblivion Stone.
I just put it in here so I could club thuggers with my purse whenever. Yes. A lot of people are actually enjoying this one though. Yeah. It's a callback stuff. It's kind of a quieter Superman and Lois, I guess, where you get kind of a what happens if they did get to actually walk away from their lives and live them separately. Yeah. So I think it's a good idea for a book. It's closure for a lot of people at the very least, because they lost that, and that's hard to lose. That would be like me losing Emiko and Damien. I mean,
I know. Right.
It would be crushing to me. So you got more Superman though.
I've got more Superman. Regular Superman number 48.
Some Porter drawn Superman.
Mm-hmm. So previously,
we found you, Porter.
There you are. So he's been filling in everywhere in the meantime as well.
Yeah, he was just kind of bouncing around. I think he was trying to hash out a style for some different things, trying to separate. Because obviously, Justice League 3001 was a very goofy book, but it had a very gritty, granular art style to it. So I think he wanted to try something a little bit different from that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just kick the rust off of the other
getting
styles.
used to drawing regular buildings and stuff and not aliens in the background all the time. So previously in Superman, Superman and a bunch of Korean wrestling gods, long story, beat Hoarder, and Superman has a chance to kill him, but he doesn't because he's Superman. And luckily, because Hoarder was using still alive Jimmy Olsen as his body, so he almost killed Jimmy Olsen. That was a sneaky Hoarder.
Yeah, he didn't die when the Sandman Superman laser blasted him.
Yep.
Apparently Jimmy's pretty resilient.
I guess so.
Pretty resilient. It's almost like he has a turtle shell protecting him or something.
I know. But, So they trap Hoarder in a hard drive, and we find out that Hoarder was also one of Vandal Savage's sons. He was in a wheelchair, and Savage just owned him because he was an inferior being.
That's so savage.
So by transferring his consciousness digitally so he can live forever and access any information, he was finally able to win his father's favor.
So he's like a digital Vandal Savage?
Yeah.
Immortal via technology?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a cool little setup. I like that.
So Superman gives the hard drive over to Mr. Terrific, but Vandal Savage comes to save his son, and it gets continued in Savage Dawn. And I think we're even kind of like poking into some of the Savage Dawn
Mr.
stuff
Terrific?
here. Yeah.
Which one? The
Black tea on his face.
Huh. He was over on Earth too. How'd he get over here?
Convergence.
Oh yeah, Convergence. Yes. Converge danced his way on over.
Yep.
He's still over in Earth 2 Society. That's why I was a little confused.
Gotcha.
Convergence. Touche.
So we're kind of like poking around after Savage Dawn here, but we'll get there. Like we already have been apparently as I'm slowly reading and learning these things.
Sure.
Like, he was something that happened in Savage Dawn caused him to have to go to Mount Olympus with Wonder Woman, and now this is after that.
Yeah.
So, we're missing pieces, but who cares? We're getting the basic idea. Comics, everybody.
Is Superman getting his powers back?
Well, we will find this out. So, an Argus agent that also happens to be one of Vandal Savage's kids and had his...
Jesus, Savage? Slow your roll, man.
I know, right?
He's just going up against David Kane for Father of the Year by just having infinite number of children out there that he's a deadbeat dad to. Just that he's doing the whole factor effect.
Yeah. So we've got a nice running come Father's Day.
Yeah, this year we're still at January, man.
I know, right?
This is gonna be a good year, I think, for Father of the Year.
Yeah. So he has Hoarder transfer his consciousness into a robot body, and he becomes the new Puzzler. Hoarder even adorably suggests dropping the E from his name to seem cooler and more modern, which, Hoarder.
Yes.
But his whole shtick is that he shoots like little puzzle pieces out of his robot body, and when they attach to technology, they can snap onto his body like puzzle pieces to make himself more powerful.
Oh, that's a much better...
It's a pretty cool visual.
Yeah. Mine was that he would just shoot like 1,000 puzzle pieces out and people would be forced to stop and assemble the puzzle.
Sudoku. But the main attraction is Superman teaming up with Steve Trevor. Woo! And it is glorious. So Superman...
My boy Steve, get out there.
Yeah, so Superman needs access to Argus's kryptonite reserve, because he thinks it will strip away a layer of bad cells that won't absorb sunlight energy and let new ones regrow so he can get his powers back. Steve Trevor needs to help Superman so he can figure out the exact timeline of when he broke up with him and when she started dating Superman. And why did you dump her, you jerk? Oh my God, you were perfect for each other. That was my solace, that you guys had matching outfits and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, at least she's dating my superior, and he dumps her? Oh my God. So...
Steve, come on, man. You got over this.
Steve Trevor.
At least he's not moping anymore.
True. So, when, Steve and Etta Candy. Hey, Etta. How's it going? Haven't seen you in a while.
What up?
Haven't seen you since the Sterling Gates-averse.
She's been hanging around Suicide Squad.
Okay. Well, that's why I haven't seen her. So, when they bust out the kryptonite and Superman gets super weak, it's like, yeah, this is what kryptonite does to you, dude. It kills Superman. That's the whole thing. That's why we've been keeping it in this box in a secret volcano base in Hawaii.
Oh, well, that's a good place to put it, I guess.
Cool base, Argus.
Yeah.
Just waiting to be taken over by a supervillain, but pretty cool. Yeah, so of course, as soon as he's like super weak, they get attacked by Puzzler. And with all the technology in Argus, he's getting pretty big. He's turned into this big, gigantic mech monster. It's a nice, cool visual.
Big O! Big O! Big O! Big O!
Gonna have to ship you off to Mars pretty soon, Puzzler.
Dum.
So after saving Clark's butt several times, Steve eventually decides to just go along with his crazy plan. It's like, yes, I'm supporting you in this plan to sit in a throne of kryptonite and kill yourself. For no reason.
I have nothing to gain from this whatsoever.
So Superman goes and sits on a throne of kryptonite while trying not to get killed by the Puzzler. and we will continue on next issue.
I thought that was a pretty good idea, using the kryptonite as a chemotherapy pretty much to just kill the dead cells that are there and make them go away, or at least clear them off enough so that he can actually get superpowers once more. It's an interesting setup. And the tie-ins of so much Vandal Savage, as we've had 4 separate plot lines, each that have a route back to Vandal Savage now, I think is a pretty good setup for this Savage Dawn thing that they're doing. I understand people feel a little irate that to get the whole story you have to read 4 books, but I don't think you do.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think you could just follow one and pretty much
like I've read the action stories that we didn't recap, and you could just read that and get the basic idea.
Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job on that. So I know we're not exactly known comic book readers themselves as being content to not have the entire puzzle in front of us, and we're not really willing to leave pieces out and say, oh, well, I'll just have that backfilled if it's important later at some other time. But fiscal matters sometimes demand that, so I thought they did a pretty decent job of making at least an option between these 4 titles. I thought it worked out well, personally. I just wanted to at least bring it up because I did see folks kind of like, I don't want to read 16 issues for one storyline. And I was like, I disagree slightly. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. So, next up, what do you think of the Supermans, though? Porter art.
Oh, yeah. I'm totally on Team Porter, so I'm gonna migrate to whatever he's drawn anyway. But
hence why you got this one.
Yes, and it's why you had. Oh, I guess we can't really touch on that, can we?
Nope, not yet.
No,
not yet. So, what am I want to do? I think I'm gonna do the kids. I'm gonna do Teen Titans and We Are Robin, and then you can close us out with whatever you want.
Sounds good.
So, first up, Teen Titans.
Whatever I want to?
Yeah, whatever you want to.
Interesting choice of words there, Sean.
Whatever you want to. Teen Titans number 16. Let's backfill some stuff. As the people's opinion of kid heroes has plummeted, due to all the kids just being completely inept and destroying cityscapes and
millennials.
Yeah. God, they're the worst. They're so
always
entitled.
in their smartphones.
Always with their hashtags and their artisanal stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what they do? Yeah. And,
not bending the brims of their hats.
Yeah. And
hoverboards blowing up all over the place.
Wait, what? Well, people aren't really keen on the millennial heroes that have been popping up because they've been pretty inept, to be blatantly honest. So the Teen Titans have then been arrested after their entire Manchester Black kind of dividing the team, pitting them against each other, having that whole debacle where they broke into a prison and accidentally caused a riot and then ended up fighting each other instead of the actual villains. So the government has sent Alpha Centurion to wrangle them up, and he's ha ha. And he locks them all up and throws them in a van and starts driving them off to prison. And as they're on their way, they're busted out by a pervy doom monster who has a crush for Wonder Girl, who kind of is like, grrr, Wonder Girl, grrr. It's Riser from Doomed. Yeah. They met before, and he has a thing for her, so he tries to help her out and break her free.
They're just friends, right?
Yeah, they're just friends, but
they're assuming.
Yeah, everyone else assumes that the pervy bone spike monster that has one particular bone spike at full attention has a thing for Wonder Girl.
Grr, puberty, awkward.
So in this case, he ends up breaking them all free, and Alpha Centurion has to call in backup. And who do you call in for backup when you're dealing with powerhouses such as the Teen Titans? Why, none other than Superman's personal galactic army, Pax Galactica. Pax Galactica make their return.
The audience of one waiting for the return of Pax Galactica.
I know. I'm fully aware it's just me. But the fact that they still have the dangling plot line that where Superman fought alongside them and they pledged their allegiance to Superman and then flew off into space to say, oh, we're going to fight in your name out in space and stuff like that. I really want to see that plot thread come back at some point. Yeah. Because these guys are the epitome of inept. They suck. They suck so bad. I just want to see what misadventures they are out there going, hey, I know your city was just destroyed, but we caught that mugger, and Superman is the reason why. See you guys later. And they just fly off. I'm just saying, it's a ripe story element that's still out there. But they show up and just get trounced by the Teen Titans, and Alpha Centurion gets trounced as well, and they all make a break for it, and they go whoop, 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 and run off to the outskirts of Gotham, where they hole up in a mansion there, or the Robin's Nest as well, because Tim Drake has to go take part in Robin War. So he's like, you kids stay here, stay out of trouble. I'm gonna go play in the important crossover. None of you guys are invited.
Nope.
Just stay here. I'll be back. And during that little crossover thing, the Teen Titans had a misadventure where they found out that there was Raven felt a psychic cry of despair and pain where people just wanted to escape but couldn't. So they followed the signal, and it led them to the theater that was playing School of Rock in downtown Gotham. And they're all just standing there nodding their head like, yep, yeah, I could see that. I could see everyone trying to escape from that. But when they go inside, they find out Professor Pig was in there trying to turn everyone into Dulatrons.
Hey.
And yeah, it's like, hey, what's up? And the Dulatrons overwhelm the Teen Titans, and Professor Pig takes blood samples from all of them. Even does a blood transfusion from Beast Boy into the lead singer, Stargirl not Stargirl, but the star woman that was in the play.
A star female performer.
Yes.
You don't respect
the star actress.
You don't respect the other genders quite as much as Grayson does.
Apparently not. I didn't know using one word caused that. But she gets a blood transfusion and turns into like a weird amalgamation animal thing, and they have to fight her off. And while they do that, Professor Pig goes snort, 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 and runs off into the night with their blood samples. Actually delivers them to Brother Blood, who's all like super keen on getting Beast Boy's blood sample because of his connection to the Red, and Brother Blood wanting the connection back, and kind of a callback to the Animal Man stuff that we saw back.
Hey.
I thought that was a nice little touch.
Not bad.
Not picked up in whatsoever in the next issue, but it was still a nice little touch, I thought. So, in the present, the team has returned back to the Robin's Nest, defeated, crushed. Nothing is going their way whatsoever. They keep getting arrested, beating each other up, getting pummeled by Professor Pig and his Dulatrons. It's just, the Teen Titans suck. That's basically what they're kind of coming back doing, and they're just like, this sucks. And Tim's not even here. He's our fearless leader. He would tell us what to do, and then Tim pops back and goes, crossover over, guys. I'm back. That was some crazy stuff that happened that DCR won't talk about until maybe a mini-sode later on this week.
Maybe.
But let me tell you, crazy stuff happening out here in the streets of Gotham. Let's say we all get together and go out and fight some crime. And they're like, oh, we don't want to do that. It sucks out there. We keep getting our asses stomped. And they're unable to argue anymore because all of a sudden the roof gets blown off of their building when a Derlin attack squad shows up and goes, hup, 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 hup. We're here to get Chimera back. She's a Derlin, and she has to come home because she has to help fix the Derlin problems that we have. She's our MacGuffin. Get over here, Chimera.
Get over here.
And all the Titans go, no, you can't just take one of our members captive. So they start fighting off against the Derlins, and it kind of ends in a draw, but they're just destroying downtown Gotham City in their battle, and it's making a whole bunch of unwanted attention. So finally Chimera goes, hey, guys, I'm just going to go with them willingly.
Yeah.
Let's just stop this because you guys are all going to get arrested, and I'm just going to leave anyway. They're just going to take me. So, I'm going to go. You guys be good. Stay safe. See you later. And she goes, whoop, 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 and flies off into space with the Derlins. And they all look around and they go, man, that was messed up. Hey, wait a minute. Where's Kid Flash? And they look around and they find this like 100-page note that Bartor wrote saying, I must go find the love of my life. She's out there somewhere. If you remember, we had all those time things where Solstice got stuck in a prison. I'm going to go find her. This has nothing to do with a new writer coming on, who wanted us to clean house and get rid of some of the characters that maybe he didn't want to use. So
nothing to do with that. No.
Pay no heed to that. I'm going to go find my girlfriend. See you guys later. It's been real. Next time I come back, I hopefully won't be Bartor. See you later.
Yes.
And, everyone's just kind of sitting around going, man, what do we do? Seems like we've cleared the deck for something. I guess we should move locations too. Maybe get out of Gotham City. Where should we go though? And that's when we jump to like a couple of weeks later where muggers are chasing down this girl into an alleyway. in Heaton, Pennsylvania, and the Teen Titans come to save the day as the only super team of Heaton, Pennsylvania.
That's a relatively underserved portion of the superhero universe.
That's an understatement, I believe. I think you're correct. So,
it's no Hatton Corners.
it's no Hatton Corners, but I do believe they're going to get that. They've locked down the Heaton, Pennsylvania comic market, I think.
Yes, they have.
Lock, stock, and barrel. Everyone there is going to be buying this book to see the adventures of the Teen Titans in Heaton, Pennsylvania. So, I hope they have a comic shop in Heaton, Pennsylvania. I know it's an actual city. I'm just hoping.
Okay, I'm trying to Google. Like, is Heaton, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's an actual city. I'm hoping they got something there to take advantage of this. The only thing they have there is a Titans Auto Shop, so maybe that's where they're going to move it to. Maybe a new writer that's coming on board drove through Heaton, Pennsylvania, and saw the Titans Auto Shop and went, "You know what? Yeah, this could work. I think this is where they live now." It's an odd touch, you have to admit. So.
Although there's a law school there, look out for Creeper.
Oh boy. So that's the clearing of the previous stuff. This run has had some debacles. I'll just put it that way. People have not really been latching on to this one, and it's a shame because it was a relaunch when the new team came on. Like, they wiped away everything that was done before and said, "Okay, we're gonna start over, relaunch," and then they literally used everything that everyone complained about in the previous run, as far as John and the Superboy Chaos, and then Bartor showing up again. Everyone's like, "No, that's precisely what we hated. We don't want this." And now they have to start over again in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Demoted slightly Titans. From Gotham City to Pennsylvania.
14 Titans. They can travel back in time and stop the 1919 Heaton, Pennsylvania train collision.
I hope so. Someone better do it. Yeah, it will be a breath of fresh air, I think, for myself at least, when it comes to this book. I'm doing this book because Brian refused to do it anymore. Brian was done with the Teen Titans, and it was
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, if you go back and listen to the last 2 or 3 issues you did of the Teen Titans, it was blatantly you just like, no.
I'm reading.
Here's 3 sentences, and we're done with it.
I'm reading up on all these interesting facts about Heaton, Pennsylvania.
Okay, well.
Thank you, Internet.
Put them in your back pocket for next month, because we won't need them till then. More kids, though. We Are Robin.
Check cashing services in Heaton, Pennsylvania. That's a rather dubious place to do work. Man, maybe they can stop that shady business practice.
Is that what they're going to get into?
Yeah.
Fending off Creeper at law school and
stopping those high interest rates on payday loans.
Yep. Hey, it's worth a shot. Good luck, Titans. We're behind you.
Go.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you. I really am.
Titans together.
We Are Robin, number 8. I'm just going to sum up the previous issues because of the Robin War stuff and these guys being pretty integral in it. The team is fractured after the events of Robin War. They're not really palling around together right now, and they're kind of split up. So we're going to focus on the dichotomy between 2 specific families this week. That's all we're going to talk about. We'll come back to the Robin War stuff. There is some big stuff happening there. I just don't want to do it all out of order and have to assemble the pieces after the fact. So, Johnny, a.k.a. Smiley. I'm assuming Johnny Charisma, maybe? I don't know. But he is a kid that had Mobius syndrome, i.e. couldn't control the muscles in his face. And
always sitting in a chair.
Yep, always sitting in a chair. Always making awesome street art paintings and stuff. Just world-renowned, this particular Mobius syndrome. But his parents make him get plastic surgery.
That'd be Banksy syndrome, dude.
Oh, well.
Mobius was like... Did he do
art?
street art? He did like movie concepts.
Well, I know he did movie concepts too. I thought he started in street art.
Okay, well then I will rescind that and look that up while you talk about We Are Robin.
Fair enough. Prove me wrong, because I may be absolutely wrong about this one. Anyway, his parents made him get plastic surgery at the age of 12.
It does want to tell me about Mobius syndrome.
Oh well, that's very nice of it. So they end up actually giving him this plastic surgery. He's all jacked up, angular face because he grows into a young adult after having plastic surgery at 12. It doesn't work. He has a permanent sneer across his face. And he's being released from juvie today to go back to his parents, who don't really give a crap about him. They're very unloving, very horrible people. And he finally decides to emulate his hero, the Joker, by painting his face up and putting on a crazy suit, and goes down and shoots his parents in the head, with him kind of kicking back in a chair like, yeah, this is going to be my new life. I might start a gang, maybe a gang called the Jokers, maybe a gang that will have maybe a good 50 years worth of relevance into the beyond of Batman. Maybe this Joker's gang will last so far out there that it will even take place there as well. So we'll come back to him next month, but the other family we're following is Duke Thomas, yes, Duke Thomas, who's still on the hunt for his parents that went missing during the Joker's gas attack on Gotham City. And while he's out there trying to find them, he's checking all the hospitals, can't find them, checking all of the homeless shelters, can't find them. Finally hears about how the mental institutions have a bunch of overflow as well, and finally finds his parents. And he's like, oh, thank God I found you. But they are so far gone from the Joker toxin that his dad is just giggling and his mom is just stuck with just this giant rigor mortis grin on her face. And they don't even recognize him as their son. And he's just all sad and dejected and promising that he's going to do whatever he can to make them better again. And that's how it ends with the entire issue is done split page, where you have like one half is done of Duke and him trying to find his family and how concerned he is about them, and then Johnny and how much he hates his family and his family doesn't care about him. So it's kind of like a duality between the two characters, and it's done with these stories overcrossing one another as far as the narration being done back and forth, and it works out fairly well. It really does. It's just it's a setup issue for Duke finding his parents and Johnny starting the Joker's gang, and that's really all that moves forward in the plot, other than more character study work on them. So, decent issue. I didn't mind it whatsoever. It needed a cool down after the Robin War stuff, and I think that's a good place to put an issue like this. So, we'll see where it goes from there. You got anything else? And
Wikipedia, for the record, seems the Mobius apparently just went straight into comics. No
just straight in? No street?
No street.
Huh. I'll be damned. I'm a failure.
Yeah.
I am a failure, so.
Well, I guess we're going to have to do Suicide Squad, Most Wanted, Deadshot plus Katana.
Colon.
Mm-hmm.
Super colon blow. What you got?
Don't make me start reciting Super Blow, because I will. I will do it.
What you got?
All right. So previously in Deadshot, Floyd Lawton was a decidedly Caucasian assassin with an interesting moral code that he had to kill people in one shot so he wouldn't waste bullets and
which is great.
And accidentally kill innocent bystanders.
Yeah, because his family was gunned down in a spray and pray, like his parents and sister were when he was a kid, where there was a gunfight outside and they were just spraying bullets everywhere, and his parents were part of the unintended casualty. So he was like, I'm going to make every goddamn shot count. And I was like, that's actually a decent setup for a marksman. I mean, hey, awesome. Kudos. So what do we got in this one?
So, in the Deadshot chapter of this book, Floyd Lawton, Deadshot, is forced to team up with the newest member of Task Force X, Will Smith.
Oh, no.
I mean, Will Evans.
Oh, okay.
His name is Will Evans. No reason why he would be Will Evans. That's just his name.
Yeah. I mean, no relation.
His name is Will Evans. He's an expert assassin, just like you, Deadshot. His costume even has a reticle on it, and he has no code name. He's just Will Evans for no reason.
No reason?
No reason whatsoever. So you've got to team up on a job in Gotham, even though you two don't like each other. So they go. And Floyd abandons the mission, so Willennium over there just can get jiggy with everyone and just murder everyone he's supposed to.
Na.
Take a cigar. after I finish this mission, as a reward, I'm gonna get a cigar.
Oh,
from
is he
Cuba
gonna hear
Cuba.
the fat lady sing?
Mm-hmm.
And the deacon's gonna give him a little pep talk before they fly off into the night. Yeah.
And while he does
and
that,
then his son is going to land on a planet that's like Earth.
God, no. And so while Will's doing that, Floyd uses this as his only chance to go and murder his father.
Wait, what?
He's gone off to a big mansion. He's going to murder his father.
Why?
I don't know. Parents just don't understand.
Wait, which Deadshot's doing
USA.
this one?
Floyd.
Floyd is doing that.
Yeah.
His parents were already gunned down once. Were they resilient? Did they not die? They just got up and they were fine, but he still wanted to make his vow count.
Oh.
What the hell? What the hell? That was a perfectly suitable origin story for Deadshot. Why are we messing with this?
Convergence?
Convergence. I forgot about Convergence. Surely nothing's going to happen to that Deathstroke.
Nothing's going to happen.
That's going to cause
that Deadshot. Not Deathstroke, Deadshot.
Oh, I'm sorry, that Deadshot.
Nothing's going to happen.
Damn you, man! Now you have me doing it.
So previously, this is a 2 stories in 1 issue. So previously in Katana, falconers, sumo rise, severed feet, bowling puns, moves like swagger, skeleton ghost prison armor, red hot litigation action, and swords as far as the eye can see.
Killer Croc riding away on a dragon.
Oh, yes, can't forget about that. So, Cobra is trying to take over Markovia.
No. You say it right.
Cobra la la la
Larry,
la la.
thank you.
So Cobra la 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 is trying to take over Markovia, which places my Geoforce alert system on Amber. But Katana is just heading there to meet a lady that thinks that science and magic are basic. You all right there, dude?
Oh man, I read this issue and I was just like, Markovia? Who's from Markovia? Why does that sound familiar? Oh, I'm gonna make Brian read this one from now on.
So, Katana is going there to meet a lady that thinks that science and magic are basically the same thing. So she flies there in her Justice League jet, which she hasn't been on the Justice League in forever.
She was on JLA.
She was on JLA, yes. But she's
not on the current roster, but I mean,
no.
I guess you have like veterans benefits. You could just call in a ride.
So she crashes her plane, makes some jokes about Hal Jordan. I'm like, wait, you were on the Justice League team with the other Convergence? Convergence. So
she just knows, man. She just
knows, yeah. So she meets up with this lady that thinks that science and magic are basically the same thing. So Katana's all, hey, do you think you could explain the soul taker? And she looks at the sword and she like sees all the souls inside of it. She's like, yep, I guess I can probably try to figure this out. When Cobra attacks, Cobra la 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 attacks, and Katana unwittingly becomes a hero to Markovia and tries to take out all of Cobra la 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 by herself. And the Cobra la 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 kidnaps the scientist lady, so now she's stuck helping the people of Markovia. And there's also an extended cameo by a cat that is so ugly and dirty it has to be Ugly Cat. There's no other way. I hope so. I hope Ugly Cat is somehow find its way to Markovia to be adopted by Geoforce, and then it'll just be the most perfect comic ever. All my favorite things in one little corner of the DC universe.
Let's be fair, though. Katana isn't the one that fought off Cobra la 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 and saved Markovia. We all know it was Geoforce hiding around the corner.
Yeah. Using his all-encompassing powers.
I mean, we all know how this actually went down. Mm-hmm. Don't try to paint it in a different manner.
He'll be hiding there off in the corner, just like, boop. Actually, to be fair, Geoforce doesn't hide. He's front and center.
He is.
He's not going to hide and do this without taking all the credit for himself.
Well, maybe he's just above the panel, like flying above, because he can do that. He's Geoforce.
Yeah, he can fly,
He can just fly. I mean, Earth powers, yeah, I can fly.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. But he's probably there doing that. Aren't you just so happy to see all your friends back together?
Yeah.
Again? All of your favorite things from the last 3 years of us doing this is all coming together into one half of an issue.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's why I said you had to take it.
I had to, yeah.
I just love when you're just like, really? You want me to do this? Okay, I guess.
Sure. It's like, oh yeah, this will be a quick, easy thing. It's just short little stories.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, it's little origin things and whatnot. I have a feeling it's a setup for maybe something that might be happening in the near future.
First page of Katana. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Just going full Joe Bluth in here. It's like, oh no.
Oh man, I get criticized so much for laughing, like as we do this show, that I laugh too much and it's unauthentic, but. That shit just makes me laugh so damn hard. So, oh God, I'm sorry everyone that's upset about that, but The sheer rage on your face whenever anything that comes up that's related to these characters is just so hysterical to me. All right, so moving on. Was that it?
I think that was it, wasn't
That was it. Holy crap, we made it through.
Yeah.
So reminder to you guys, go out there and buy these books. Buy what you like, buy what you support. We all know some big changes are coming down the pike. We don't know what those changes are, but
This mysterious JPEGs.
yeah,
on
but this
Twitter.
is your last chance is to basically vote with your wallet on the tones or story types that you like out of this DCU thing. I have a feeling there's going to be a big shift, a big paradigm shift in the near future. So there may be some restarts of storytelling, plot lines, etc. So
Some Titans Hunt-esque continuity restructuring.
rejiggery-joo or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do, but obviously, again, we don't work for DC. We have no idea what they're doing behind closed doors, and I'm not going to pretend I know or make wild accusations as to what they have planned. But we have all heard mumblings that something is coming down the pike this year, and you need to pretty much state what you like. And the only way you can state that, you can type on message boards all you want. We do a show every week. It does not matter unless we buy it. And since we buy everything, our votes are kind of
Null and void.
null and void. I mean, since we basically buy all of it, we voted for everything technically, but we don't quite agree with that sometimes. But hey, whatever. We do what we have to do. So make sure you buy what you like.
We've sold a couple of trades of Demon Knights. I know that much.
Yeah. We pushed at least 2 that I know of.
Yeah.
I think they made like 7, remember? So,
Yeah.
And you and I bought one, so
Yeah,
there was 5 left, and
so-
we've got confirmation on 2 others.
Yeah.
They're out
three
there.
Three others, man.
3 others?
Yeah, 3 others.
So we got 2 left. You too could own Demon
Yeah.
Knights. Be one of the 7. But yeah, make sure you do vote, buy, support. It is important because these storylines go away unless you actually go out and buy it. Unless there is a furious uproar, aka the Omega Men stuff, where they were trying to cut it short. And I think that was more of an internal uproar where everyone in the industry was like, whoa, that's a
dude.
really
Yeah.
quality book. Let him at least finish the arc and get to that point. And I think that held more sway than people going,
Yeah.
hey, all 10,000 of us that buy it like it. Awesome. You might cover printing costs at that
Yeah.
point. So it is important. Make sure you support things that you like and drop things that you don't. Not going to lie. If you don't like it, I always say give it at least one more issue after you hit that tipping point so you can see if it swivels back, because we all have a bad day and it might just be an off issue. But if you're not enjoying it, don't stay on for collectors reasons.
No.
It's pointless. Sincerely. It's sincerely
There
pointless.
lies madness.
Yes. Next week, we will have more books. We are going to try to fit in the Robin War and Darkseid War stuff. We have a war thing that we have to kind of put in order and maybe put out before next week's episode. So we'll have to figure out how we're doing that, or it might be right after next week's episode. I can't remember how next week's books fall, but we have a plan. Just chillax. We have a plan on how we're doing this. So if you want to contact us and ask us questions about that plan that's totally realized and we know exactly what we're doing, not making it up as we go, you can do so where, Brian?
The internet.
Yeah. It's a very handy thing.
Our DCR podcast on everything.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Even the .coms now.
even the .coms, easiest places are Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, etc. Don't feel like you have to follow us. Don't feel like you have to like us or anything like that. I don't really understand why people push that all the time, but if you want to find out or ask us a question, those are the easiest channels to do so. That's basically why we throw them out there.
We post minimally.
Yes. Yeah, we're not expecting you guys
We're not going to jam you up,
yeah, we respond where we can, and that's about what we do. So, go T.
yes.
Do you have anything before we take off for this week, Brian?
This week I don't really, no.
Oh, sweet. Silence is golden. Silence is golden. So from all of us here at DCR, enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we will talk to you next week.